d6 to ensure there's no push, or at least not one that I'm not going to capture. We've had many games so far where they do end up pushing. Now here we do want to be careful, and this is a legitimate concern. If we play this and then e5, we run into that. So we have to play e5 now. And then here we need to play bishop e7 so that we are not getting hit with knight g5 in a bad way. Now we can castle, and I mean, this is, guys, 1300. I would honestly think by 1300 that we know that this is not appropriate. Like, this isn't the way we play anymore. But lo and behold, lo and behold. Yep, definitely putting that king right back where she came from. Absolutely. I'm gonna play queen e8 to g6, and you know, maybe even with bishop h3 as well. d4. Wow, quite an interesting move. Queen g6 and bishop h3 looks pretty satisfying. I think I'm going to take and then play queen g6, and just, you know, with the queen tied down there and bishop h3 threatened, I kind of like this. So bishop h3, there's queen f3, so maybe not as beautiful as we might like. Knight d5, I think we have a nice answer in bishop d8. And here, well, it's kind of an important question. Queen f7 looks fine, but king h8 might be the one. I think I'm going to go king h8. Bishop h3 remains a threat. There's also this. Yeah, bishop h3 looks pretty good, but clearly he's intending g3. So I think we are going to go here. And although this is tempting, we have to be a little mindful of queen captures b7. To be a little careful of that. So I think I will take this. The bishop's not terribly useful. And can we get this queen to f3, basically? Let's go here. If f4, I thought we take. Okay, here we have knight e5, which is pretty nice. Only downside is that, you know, when we capture there, all of a sudden the pawn can move up to f4. We're sad about that. Covering that so that maybe I can move my rook, like probably to e8 next. And I also really want to play h6. Yeah, let's get rook e8, definitely. This bishop rerouting here would honestly be pretty nice. So let's just go ahead and do that. I have 3 pieces, opponent has 2, so we already know for sure that there's going to be some problems in this position. Because any single pawn, I can just target it with 3 pieces, only gets defended twice. We will be able to win anything on the board. Yeah, I think we want to take in general, but queen f5 here should get the job done. That is a check. I think we're going to have to go for our tried and trusted. Checkmate with a king. Oh, amazing. GG, ace gladiator. Sorry it had to be you, brah. But I have a bone to pick with the 1300s on this website. They're so damn strong. I go extra hard in the 1300 category of every speedrun. No mercy. I will once again remind and outline the importance of playing e5. It's not like knight d7 loses you the game, but it does lose you the game if you decide to play e5, because this is just wrong. Yeah, you're in big trouble here. And of course, you do want to play e5 because that's the system. So e5 first. That way you can castle, and this game is literally a perfect example because he actually did exactly that, and we would have been lost had we done a different move order. And obviously, yeah, this is bad. I don't know why players are still playing this way, but it is not good. Easy win. Okay. Knight f3. We'll go d3. We have kind of like a London-ish, yeah, London-ish setup, I guess. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take this bishop. When I deal with the London with black, you always see me like trying to get rid of the bishop. So same thing with white. The bishop in any of these kind of London setups is so valuable, and the reason why is if I sit here and I play c3, queen c2, I'm in this pin. It's a very uncomfortable pin, and I'd definitely rather not be. So anything I can do to get out of it. And the other thing that has probably been the case is most of the time in these London positions, it does feel a little bit better to play like this. However, I do want to watch out for knight here. So I think what I'm going to do is just queen b3. That's always a really annoying pawn to defend when the bishop has moved. A lot of people make the mistake of going here, and this guy is going to demonstrate perfectly why that is no good. Yeah, queen b3, b6 is extremely common. It almost always loses a piece, if not like just gets you in a very bad position, lose a bunch of tempi or something. But yeah, with queen c4, queen a4 coming, there's really no saving this position. Queen d6 is, you know, his best attempt, and playing king d7, like literally the only way to defend it, but he's gonna lose his entire queen doing that. We could have definitely started with the knight, but I thought this made the most sense. Okay, he's gonna go there. I suspect he's interested in playing rook takes h2, so I'm just going to insert knight c4 before I take this bishop, because we're playing 1300s. You know, this guy is clearly at 1294, a former 1300, and we treat him the exact same. Full throttle, no mercy. Queen c5, we can even throw in bishop e3 here, which I think I will do. And there's long castle check next, which is going to be pretty nice. Yeah, everything's coming with tempo. Tempo, tempo, tempo. You can see why. Yeah, you can see why. It's a very lost position here. Let's go with the check. I mean, yeah, the guy's got his queen move. And why did this all happen? Why does this game look like this? It's only because of the move b6. It's crazy to think about, but b6 did all of this. If not for b6, my guy could be living a good life right now. Like, it'd be no issues at all. He's just gonna resign. I understand that. Sitting in this position where we've got force mate a couple different ways, plus rook d8. Yeah, completely dead, completely hopeless. Why did this happen? The simple move queen b3. Players are not very confident or comfortable defending that pawn with rook b8 or queen c8. They almost always play this, which is almost always losing, especially because the main way that we attack this pawn in this speed run are things like the London, like these London setups for even for black, where they get their bishop out. And so what I'm saying is that when we're attacking this pawn, it probably means the opponent does not have a light squared bishop, or at the very least, the light squared bishop is away from home, which means as soon as they play b6, which they're going to, they've been blundering that routinely so far, your light squared bishop just dominates the game, and you will almost always win a full piece, if not more, as soon as they play b6. And they've been blundering b6 nonstop in my speed run, so I'm sure you'll have the same experience. Okay, suppose we could go, might almost play the same move as him. Okay. Interesting. Guess we'll go back. I wonder here, we'll go h6. Wonder what he's planning to do. Wonder how familiar with this position he is. So he takes with the pawn. Okay. Doesn't seem very familiar. Yeah, he definitely wants to castle that way, but there are many moves that need to be played before then. Okay, so we have bishop h3, but even that one it's not doing too much right now. I'll definitely still play it, but I wouldn't say it's completely crushing or anything. This one might be. I don't know. Kind of has a good feel about it. This is, I would say, not the most successful opening. I have to put him out of his misery there. That was a very quick game, and yeah, not too much to say about this one. This was kind of a non-opening by white. We were trying to go for our setup here, but in the end, I don't know. There wasn't much to it. This guy was kind of a bot, just like autopilot every pawn forward. I feel like he's trying to play the hippo, but if you're playing the hippo, you don't need to move g4. You should just play g3 like that. Keep it more consistent, and the hippo would do fine against this. But this guy was just autopiloting moves, so I had to put him out of his misery there. Okay, knight f3. d3, and we do want to get this e4 move. Bishop e2, as you know, we have to be ready to deal with this, and we are. Let's go c3, I think. We could play h3. Takes. I'm glad I didn't play h3. I mean, it's not like h3 would be a mistake, but it is funny that time and time again, the people are taking here. I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised, I have to say. I guess we're supposed to take because maybe f4 is a little bit, yeah, it's kind of a lot. Let's bring the knight to g3. It felt to me like taking this was a little bit much. Like I wanted to make sure to get a few pieces out, but queen b3 is a huge part of this position. So definitely a move I want to keep an eye on. I wonder if we can take... Let's say it looks suspicious. It looks suspicious. Probably playable, but definitely suspicious. I think I'm actually going to play d4 here. It looks totally insane. I'm not going to lie. Even looking at my own move, I'm like, wait a minute, what? My goal is to put a knight on e3. And I think we can do it this way or this way. And once we do that, I feel very secure about the position. I'm just trying to decide which way is kind of better here. I'm actually gonna do this. Reason being, yeah, I still have this bishop open on the diagonal. I like this. Takes, we're gonna take back with the queen here. In most endgames, I would say the pieces should overpower. All he's got is a rook and a pawn. And I definitely gave him a very nice pawn here. So I hope I don't come to regret that, but I'm pretty confident in this position. Knight on c2 looks nice. Knight c2, bishop out, rook f1. I feel like we can sort of keep trading. Yeah, knight c2 here. Bishop d2 or bishop e3. I can't really say which one is preferred. You gotta have a little faith here, Chushu. I just don't see what the danger is in this position. That's my thing. So here, even if queen takes, this won't be good enough. So I think we can play this. We definitely want to attack that d pawn here. And once I solidify things on the king side, a move like queen b5 is just going to knock him, like, it just knock him out clean. But yeah, I don't think there's any need to rush that right now. Knight on e3 is going to be fantastic blockader. And it's just, it feels like there's not enough threats that can be created by the pieces that black has. So let's see. Yeah, probably knight here. Say bishop here, bishop g3. We'll start to activate all of our pieces, and we have so many pieces that it's like a moving wall. Let's go bishop here. Okay, goes for a trade. I think we can take that, replace the knight on e3, and it's definitely going to be some technique required in this position. Sorry, there would be some technique required. Yeah, well, we'll play here. He definitely has this move. G4, rook g6 does barely hang on. This one does not. Yeah, so queen h5, I honestly might have taken, and we would have had two pieces, but in the end, he just blunders. And I think our simplest path to victory here is just going to be queen here, bishop here, with pressure on g7, and that should do it. And if we get the move g6, then we should be able to, okay, that'll be nice and easy. And my next move, I'm just going to play queen takes g7. Or he's going to do that. So we're going to reroute back over here. That's mate. And this one will also either get mated or lose material. And yeah. GG. Yeah, there's not much to say here, guys. As long as you have a little bit of confidence handling these type of positions, I mean, they are winning. They are completely winning. It's not close. So hopefully these do not frighten you, because so much of the time your opponent will play knight g4 and they will take on f2, thinking that this is like an even trade. 6 points for 6 points. So you can say that, Hella, but I strongly disagree. You're saying strong game by the opponent, you know, solid game. I don't think that was solid at all. I think anybody that willingly plays knight g4, bishop takes f2, knight takes f2 shows a serious lack of understanding. That's something that needs to be patched early on in your chess career. You do not want to be the guy that's like, you know, the old guy at the skate park trying to do an ollie. Like, we're past that, dude. Taking on f2 worked like 30 years ago in chess. Maybe. This is a very bad sign, and definitely not something we want to encourage with compliments. So I would chalk it up to a terrible opening. And, you know, reasonable play after that. Definitely nothing too bad, but nothing too impressive. He kept things defended, you know, but as the pieces traded, he basically traded a bunch of pieces and then made another blunder. So yeah, not ideal from the opponent, but really, I just think he's got to work on the opening. If you give him a better opening and just like, dude, don't give up 2 of your minor pieces that early, I think he could put a real good game together. But he's handicapping himself so much with that take on F2 stuff. But hey, I'm not complaining as the recipient here. I'll take that every time. Okay. D4 and E3. I'm wondering if might have a little bit of that. All right, we're gonna go with our setup here as usual, and we do see D5. Interesting. Let's just castle. I will probably continue with C6 here, which is very standard for us. Okay, this is obviously very tempting on the E file. I think he's going to play E4, but you know, tucking the bishop comes with a threat here, which is always nice, of E4. But yeah, we want to play C6. This is our normal move. Okay, I did not expect that. That is definitely a strange move. I guess we'll go here. So really what I want to do is F5, but I'm not sure I'm thrilled by B4. So I'm still trying to reckon with that. Yeah, I'm going to start with A5. Okay, that's, I think, a good move for us to see. So we'll try this. Definitely the bishop sits well on C2. It's a very good square. But I will play A4. And now bishop D7 to support that further. Because probably white's going to go like this and try to take it. So we'll just get the... Ooh, okay. Did not expect that. Yeah, B4 is very bad. Immediately we have this if we want to displace the king. But not even forced. We don't have to do that. I think it will be the smartest thing to do. But yeah, we could have just played F5 or just kept developing, like bishop D7. But yeah, E4 knight D3 feels pretty great here. It doesn't win on the spot, but obviously it's quite good to make it so your opponent cannot castle. Anytime you can do that, I feel like you have to be happy. This queen needs to get out. I'm not really sure what the best move is. It's going to be G3 here. Queen H5, there's G4, so maybe that's not the play. I'm doing this to watch the knight, but I'm realizing I am allowing knight b5 that I have to respond rook e7 to. Whoa. That is aggressive, man. Let's go here for now. Maybe we can even get the bishop to h4. Bring the knight back for now. I don't really mind it, but oh, okay, that I'm definitely taking. bring this back. Oh, come on, man. You can't be blundering that. I guess he thought I was only moving it because it was attacked, but yeah, I mean, we are making another threat as well. Don't tell me he's going to blunder this one too. All right, our position is basically foolproof now, right? This could not be better. Everything is covered. Perfect position. We'll just go ahead and... This will be nice because we just get to remove every piece from the board. GG. I don't know if I can say it was a good game because I don't think that it was. Maybe for him, just because, yeah, we were able to play e4, knight d3 so early. But had he not blundered the rook, you know, he was in there with a shout at the end, definitely. As for the opening, I feel like this system we haven't seen a lot of yet, but we kind of should. Most players here, they either push or take. They really should just leave the tension and go like this. But they always do something. And this one, yeah, I feel like we just stick to our system. Here, I like doing this because it made this threat. The nature of the position kind of changed here, but we still stuck to the same ideas. The only thing that was probably missing from our usual setup was c6. And I just felt that c6 was no longer necessary because by this point we had other things going for us. But even if I played c6 here, it would not be a bad move. And yeah, the rest of the moves kind of resemble our setup, so nothing too different. Okay, we have a Caro-Kann player, which means, okay. Yeah. These guys are just like hopped up on Ritalin. Like anyone who's playing that fast in the opening is just sorry, pal. You deserve everything that's coming your way. Like at that point, you've done it to yourself. I'm sorry. Well, I was gonna say that our system is really nice against this opening, the Caro-Kann. I love it because you get the pawn to e4, which means the only place to put the bishop is g4, and then almost always you just get the free bishop pair to start off your game. So I like it. Yep, every time we've played against the Caro-Kann, it's been very successful, and that's what I was about to say until it was even more successful, and we won in 4 moves here. So we'll take it. Okay, d6 to not allow the pawn to push. Some people do it there. We'll make sure to play e5 just because, again, bishop c4, we have to be able to do this so that we can do this. We've seen this over and over again. Now, this move right here is not that tempting because I have a feeling he's not going to move it. So I'm going to continue with our setup, which, I mean, in this case, I'm probably going to play the move d5 because I'm dealing with a bishop here. But, you know, b5 and a5 is pretty much what we have been doing the entire time. Let's get the bishop out. Maybe even knight into... Okay, well, definitely knight in now. Once we remove that bishop, there's... I don't know. There's not really many threats, to be honest with you. e5 is hanging here, but I wouldn't say it's the most dangerous. No. What do we want to do? Takes. Yeah, h6 as well. He can bring the knight back pretty nicely. It is a decision how to continue from here. I'll go rook e8, I think. Bishop d2. I think that makes good sense. I do want to go there, but I think we're going to end up playing bishop d6 first. Also, bishop f8 seemed kind of natural. Okay, this move makes sense. I think we'll go here just for the allure of e4, but I trust my opponent to play knight h3 or not move the knight at all, which is possibly what we expected. Can the knight be taken? Yes. Do I really ever intend to take it? Honestly, probably not. That's just the way it is. We'll go queen d7. And honestly, maybe time to make some threats of our own. I don't know. I'm just kind of developing pieces, playing it a little bit slow right now. But based on how slow he's playing, I think I can make a threat or two. I think I want to go here because then a4 will crank the position open no matter what. Okay, he started to play all moves on that side of the board. And by the way, this is a completely free knight, but I think on principle, we don't take it, right? On principle, you agree? Hoping for rook takes e5 for the fans one time. Bishop c3, we also have this. Yeah, here he's actually blundering bishop d3, but even more than bishop d3 is the checkmate pattern. Basically a puzzle rush right there. Yeah, I mean, we kind of developed all our pieces and he still hadn't committed anything. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I think it's time for us to show you how to make an attack work. Didn't take us many moves. b5, a5, b4, and then as soon as a4 happened, it was pretty much over. But once again, we just ran into a knight g5, bishop c4 cretin. They're everywhere. They love doing this. So yeah, I mean, if he's really going for it here, at some point I am just going to go, like, basically when I see h4, that's an extra reason. Okay, definitely play in the center. But knight d7, b5, knight c5, that would be fine as well. General rule, if you see h4, like full attack vibes, definitely play d5. That goes without saying. Gotta open the center. Okay, knight f3. Okay, the hanging e-pawn speedrun continues. Okay, we have the bishop pair and an extra pawn. Safe to say, I am not bothered. We have a couple threats here. Castling seems like a possibility. But yeah, even if not, I think this position is pretty good. If we take, there's bishop there. I think it's definitely easiest to just take here. We do have one extra pawn. I know, one single extra pawn. Such a big deal. want to attack this one. And then probably get our rook up to the 4th rank. It's very mobile here, so even as it gets hit, we can still go over here, and then like rook a5, for example. We're still very useful, is my point. Here, we're also hitting the f5 pawn, so although e4 looks tempting because of the pin, I think we can just take here. This one is also not possible, and this one is very welcomed. We have still 7 pawns, and there's only one open file, and no, it's not something you can do anything with. Rook f8, g3. Now this rook can't move anywhere here, so it looks a little unpleasant. I think we want to do this. I'm expecting a5 and b5 will be pretty nice. And this pawn should take care of business. Okay. Surely it's convincing by now. It must be. I have no mercy. Why? Let's remember, move 1 of the game. Knight f3, e5. Hung the e pawn. These guys gotta learn. You can't be 1350 and hanging a pawn on the first move of the game. It's grossly unacceptable. So, yes, my hope is that when you play that way, you know, in the small interaction that I may have with these players, that I could beat the living hell out of them. So I remind them just how painful it is when you blunder upon that early, so that they never do it again. Yeah, there's nothing to say about that game. That is just a free and easy win after winning a pawn on move 1, literally. e4, d6. Okay, we've seen this before. d4, knight takes e4. And okay, in the end, he might end up playing like a similar type of position to us, just maybe even accidentally. Remember, bishop c4, we go bishop e7. A lot of people pin this, by the way. It's one of the crazier moves to me because it's kind of a free... It's a free c6 every single time. Now I'm pausing because I'm wondering about this, but maybe it's a little bit overextended there. I'm sure we can keep it a bit more standard. Oh man, he's going all out here. So I think at this point, although we could castle and queen e8 if like you purely want to play defense, that's there for you. But yeah, I think at this point, knight c5, this should just win. because, yeah, this queen is attacked. Pretty expected that he would fall into this. But gotta punish greed like that. I mean, what opening is this? The guy's playing queen c2, later queen b3. Like, you think it's that basic? Okay, he's giving us this pawn. I have to accept the generosity. We will get hit with this. We will probably get hit with another knight move, but I'd rather take the, I think I'd rather take the material. Okay, look at the knight back. It's not so bad. Takes. He's crafty, this one. He's crafty. H6, tuck the king back. Usually we're tucking bishops back. Here, I'm trying to tuck the king. Guarding the knight with the rook. And this does hit the c6 pawn, so I suppose that's a problem. How to defend. I might just go here. Yeah, may as well. May as well. Nice and easy. Take that. King to safety. H7 was hanging. More trades, please. I'm in the business of trades. Might say I'm in the trade business. H6. Some more habits. And G4 is a desperate attempt here. Should not be working. We have this move, but I don't really know what the follow-up to that is. It still feels like a good move to play, but I'm not exactly sure why. So I'm going to play this in the hope that we get a queen trade. And I think that'll be a nice way to conclude. My favorite trades, where I get your queen and you get nothing. My favorite kind. We already have the bishops, which sometimes those are the hard part. Yeah. I think at some point you got to call it off here. What did I say, guys? The 1300s, I'm sorry to y'all, but I go hard in the 1300 section. These guys always put in the best effort. Every single speed run. So now it's payback time now. It's payback. At some point, you know, you got to give it up. You're like, I don't think I want to end up on a milk carton. Just got to make a business decision. Okay. Knight f6. So we're going to play d6 and we're going to play e5. I've kind of been waiting to get a more standard, like d4 system like this. We haven't had too many of them. Let's play c6 anyway. As you know, these are our next moves. Pretty normal. Nothing we haven't done before. Bishop e3. I'll start with this. Most people are really bothered by playing bishop d2, so I'll do that just to see, and maybe he'll defend this pawn. Obviously, this is a much more significant threat, but it's kind of nice to have that c pawn up so that this move is possible. I don't think this is that big of a deal, but it is a pawn, and it does add up. I will take it. I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, I have to wait and see, but I think I'm taking this. So rook b1 will be played, and queen a3, rook b3, queen like c5. There's knight a4, and after knight a4, we are actually trapped, which means our escape path is actually rook b3, queen a5, right into the line of fire. And there's only really, I mean, there's takes here and knight d5. That looks pretty frightening. That doesn't look nice at all. I mean, that's brutal. I'm not trying to play that, am I? Jeez. The thing is, I think it's correct. It's a risky move, but I think it's the way you're supposed to do this. Because even knight d5, I can bring the queen back, and yes, you could take that pawn, but I think it's fine for us. So yeah, I do have to be careful of this, because knight a4, amazingly, just traps the queen straight up. But I think queen a5 and queen back does take care of things. Okay, let's go here. Stopping rook b3, so feeling a little bit more safe over there. Perhaps knight g5. I don't know. We could also play bishop d7. Might have been a good move last turn. But I am actually considering knight g5. Kind of looks good here. Really like this knight on c5, stopping rook b3, keeping me safe. Bishop c1, we can sneak back home. I think we'll try to trade this very strong dark squared bishop. At least it looks very strong. Yeah, I think this is a pawn takes moment. Just because, okay, well, he goes there, so we can just grab this knight. But I was going to go knight f8, knight g6, and oh boy, those dark squares are looking juicy. We're off for a trade that he can never take, but there's a very good chance he goes there, at which point we do have a trade that works. However, I don't even think we're going to go for it. And if I'm not going for the trade, it means that mate is very imminent. So this will be his last chance to trade. Rook here, queen d4. Waiting for rook c3. He does go there. I guess we're just taking this, yeah. There is knight e2. There's a lot here. Almost everything, it feels like, can be taken. But it's pretty easy. It looks like knight e4, and we sneak in with a checkmate here. Yeah, I like queen e3. We actually won on time there. It was not checkmate, but it would be in one move. Queen h2 mate next. The knights do a ton of damage there, and that bishop is obviously just a tall pawn. So this was, from what I can remember, our first real exposure to just a classic d4 opening. Like, we're not playing a King's Indian, but yeah, it's kind of like this old Indian Philidor style setup. And I still like, yeah, keeping it consistent. One thing you'll notice is most of the time when the bishop develops out, I hit it with the knight. It's, especially at the ratings we've played up till now, you have the benefit of just winning it outright. Like, they'll just defend it or something, or play h3. Terrible moves. If you get this bishop, you're completely fine. Already an amazing opening. And on top of that, even if they move back, so what? You just do something else. They'll play h3, you go back, they go back. No time lost at all. So I don't see any real downside. Later on, maybe I'll not do this as much, but for now, it just feels like there's only upside. And yeah, most of the time, I just end up taking the bishop, so. Okay, let's go d6 first. So here, I just want to make sure we can, because, you know, takes, knight f3. I want to make sure that I can handle the position in the center. Okay, so now we definitely will. Queen c7 is there, and it looks like it'll just be some sort of hippo, I was going to say, hippo adjacent opening. I always like these ones where they take, because it just feels like that knight on e2 is no good. Let's take. Always with the expansion over here. Got to gain some space. And in this particular position, it seems like the intention is knight c3. I'm looking at the move a4. Kind of interesting. But I think we may just keep it a bit more controlled here. Here, rook d8, like just nice and basic. Especially because that's possible. And okay, he's going to end up blundering his queen here. And that will be GG. He had a lot of blunders he could make there. Okay, respect. Knight b5. You know, takes, he does save his queen, so I can only respect that. I believe he's saving his queen, because queen here he could take and then go queen there. But what I could do is basically like a move like this or this or something, and then I think he really is losing the queen. So I think that's probably the way to do it. It's mean, but I really want to take that piece. And yeah, if you go here, I'm just going to take the knight, and all you're doing is you're still losing your queen, but now you've also lost your knight. I promise you, there's no difference here. So you're still losing your queen, but now you've lost, and it's like a fill in the blank. Now you've lost your piece. You're still losing the queen, but now you've lost, what have you lost? It's like a children's book. He's lost a knight, now a pawn. Is he gonna chuck anything else into the fire? Because he's still losing the queen, don't forget. It's not, nothing's changed over there. Well, yeah. Basically, he could have just like lost one piece. Instead, he lost 2 extra pieces. I think this is the way to go. Just create that mating net. Should go with the bishop first, but he's not going to, and he's going to get hurt here. Yeah, that's That's everything, everywhere, all at once. Brutal game for Big Brad. Hehehehe. Brad, you're gonna have to resign here, surely. Brad. Boring Brad. Unfortunately, walked into that queen f3 thing. Otherwise, I mean, he had a fine-ish opening. Nothing wrong with it. And that'll be it for boring Brad. So we have this nice opening that we go for, and yeah, whenever there's tension, low-rated players, what do? They take every time. It really benefits us when they do that, which is why I think this opening is like low-key sleeper good, because it doesn't seem like it's that good, but the position after captures is so much better than the position without, and everybody captures, especially low elo players. They always relieve the tension right away. And yeah, I mean, this is just simple. Queen here, we have that. Queen here, we have that. Queen here, we have that. Everything loses except one move, I think. So very unpleasant position already. GG. Gotta go tough on the 1300s, you know it. All right, we're gonna go with knight f3. Hey, Karo Khan, you know, hey, hey, there's my e-pawn. Missed you there, bud. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, wow. Okay. Jesus. What are we doing here, pal? This is quite the opening from you. Oh no, what is this? Okay, well, this is straight up a disaster of an opening. Just terrible. Down 2 pawns. We got all the pawns on dark squares. Absolutely loving it. Okay. And let's see. This should be quite easy. We can play b4 next as well. Yeah, we can probably just take this. I can't even tell. Actually, this one looks more tempting to capture. Maybe this. So we can take this right now, but for some reason I feel like he might blunder this. Let's go here. Or if he goes here, we have to trade all the pieces. Even better. Yeah, like I said, guys. Like I said, I'm holding out. Just one of those things. Just had a feeling. Bishop here, bishop back, and probably king e1 will do it. But yeah, that's a very expected move. We really are collecting every pawn here. It's a lot of pawns, I have to say. Here, actually, this will be the most satisfying. Rook to a1. Can't let him have our pawns. You know, those are valuable. Hell no. Keeping this. And I think we can collect. Everything's defended, so we're nice and safe here. Check, and then at least the king can't go up, and we should be able to trade, which is always the dream. Always the dream. Man, you know, I actually did something. I actually purchased a keyboard, and I did it because my current keyboard has too many errors with the Alt button. Straight up just bought a new one. Like, that's a thing where if you're pressing Alt, it should just always work. That's how like a keyboard should function. Not mine. Mine doesn't work like that. So I'm always like laser focused, trying to, because I'm sitting here pressing it, but it's never good enough. So I actually purchased a whole new keyboard just yesterday, actually. Funny enough, waiting for it to arrive. But it's just like unacceptable. The amount of times I under promote or try to, and I'm the one that does it the most. I probably use the under promote function the most on the whole website. Can never get it. Like, not with certainty. It should be 100%. When I'm at the stream house, 100%. Like, I've never messed up an under promotion. I don't even think about it. But here, it's like, I don't know. The keys are, don't know how to describe it. They're not good enough. Trash keyboard. The 1300s. They weren't that mean to me this time around, were they? Okay, this guy's hitting us with the pre-moves. Very expected capture. You see it every single game. Remember, anyone who's playing bishop g4 with a fianchetto, we're very happy to see that. Okay, I'll just start to move those pawns. Standard for us to expand on the queen side, tuck the bishop. I mean, you already know. You already know. So I wonder if bishop b5 will be played. Interesting. I'm kind of wondering about b3, bishop a3 at this point. I don't think it doesn't like win or anything, but definitely looks interesting to say the least. I'm just gonna stick to something usual. Ooh, that's quite a terrible move. Queen c5. Yeah, pretty much couldn't get worse than that. Yeah, bishop c5 is a killer here. Not easy to see a tactic when the piece originates inside your own position, backwards, and then catches you. Okay, interesting. So it looks like we will win the material here. And we're going to be up a rook at this point. So, yeah, this should be pretty convincing. I'm going to go here because if he takes, yeah, it's just helping me, not him. I'm up the rook. Here, knight g4 might actually get us to a win easier, because knight g4, I'll go rook d6, and rook f2 loses, and knight f2 trades. So I think this will actually get us to a win much quicker than before. And that's going to be 1400. He was a very, very quick player, but not a lot of thought behind his moves, I could tell, unfortunately. Speedy, though. Definitely speedy. This is a very, very common position. I'm usually, when people fianchetto, I'm used to them going here. So that was different this time. He kept his bishop. But still, the plans, they're identical. Everybody takes. Rook e1, tuck the bishop. Queenside pawn expansion, knight c4 every game. Like, I'm literally doing the same exact plans. And he walks into a free piece. Can't make it up. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of the Philidor Speedrun. This opening has been super successful for me, and I hope you guys are experiencing the same elo boost. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.